basic stuff. Now, so that means we got to go there and work, make sure those things are in place. Now, for the greater the community, we have people again that's in elective office. So now more than ever, that we getting to hold all of them accountable. You know, all of them, the city council, I don't know whoever they are, hold them all accountable. They all got a part to play in making our lives better. So so that means we got to, in local area, in Philadelphia, we have a city council. Some areas of the country, you may not have a city council, you may have like a board of supervisors. Well, with the local, you all have school boards, city council, school boards, all those, you got to get, that means all those areas, you're going to need responsible, God-fearing people that's going to go in there and go in there with the idea of making things better. Don't go in there just for no paycheck. Don't go in there just to do nothing, just to get a paycheck. No, we ain't talking about that. We need people who can go in there and going to do the work to make things better for the whole city. If you're the school board, you're going to come up and make things better in the school boards in terms of curriculum. All that. What kind of food they eat? What kind of are the teachers being are the teachers at the proper get the word I can't think of curriculum, and they have to be certain titles they got to have, certain of not degrees is another word anyway. They have to have certain titles when they're going to have certain positions, and they say to special ed, certain it's the word I use right on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of it right now. Certain things they need so they can really teach that particular part of education that they do. And I have one of my daughters, she's a school teacher, and she's she was a school teacher, but anyway, certain things that you need. If you got a school teacher, if you want to be a special ed, then you have a special curriculum or degree you need. You're such a share this maybe a degree, yeah. So that's what you need. Now, whatever it is to make things better for the people, whatever job you're in, the school board, because this stuff here, we all got to do better. Because with stuff is coming down now again, Allah's God. Now we pray to Allah. He's Lord of all the world. Allah He raised us. He allowed us to be born. And we got, we got common sense, we got brains, we got to use it. Because this stuff here, because it's just a lot of work is coming our way. And that's just in the political part. So at this time, I'm gonna bring Brother Nate on. Inshallah, and so here's Brother Nate, and I'll greet you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thanks, Brother James. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, mercy redeemer. Assalamu alaikum. I just want to comment a couple things James mentioned about the basic of things, how we have to get back to the basics of reestablishing everything. Our destination is to establish the halal industry. And we have to go back to basics to get there. We got to reflect all the way back when we first started. Some of the things that we went through to help us get to where we're at today. And that basic thing was the first thing we had to do under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him. First thing they taught us, we had to eliminate the flesh of swine out of our life. The second thing, we had to eliminate all the byproducts, as I call them, from the swamp: drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Then he mentioned to have established some form or search the knowledge of ourselves. He had us going back into history, getting the history of our people, our ancestors. How did we get here? What was the purpose? How was it before all this slavery aspect went down? How was it? What kind of lifestyle did we live? We went through all that just to get an idea of who we are, a basic approach to ourselves. Then from there came Imam Muhammad, who taught us the basics. Everything is basic now, the basics on the religion. And as well, raised the integrity and made us more accountable for our actions. I say that because the Imam came in, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came in saying what they wanted to do. And they did what they wanted to do. What was the purpose for all that? Teaching us the religion, pointing us in the direction of how we become a believer. What was the purpose for all that? Where are you taking us? Where are you guiding us? Where are you leading us? It didn't dawn on me until we start sitting down talking about the halal industry, where it hit me. Oh, this is where you wanted to take us. You wanted us to take us to a halal atmosphere, a halal being. This is that journey we took, where I can bear witness. How I started and where I am today. I can define that journey because I experienced it. And what's the whole purpose of how I got there? I had to change the condition of my heart. Not my appearance, because I'm still the same person, but I changed the condition of my heart. And what the Lord said, people won't change. The people can't change unless they change the condition of their heart. That was the guidance. From all that malice that we had on our heart, we had to eliminate that. We had to put that aside. We had to grow beyond that with Allah's help. That's why it say, establish Allah in your heart. One Muslim who submits to the will of Allah gave all our attention to Allah. That's what helped us through that journey we encountered. And that was very time consuming. Couldn't do it over 40 weeks, 40 hours, 40 days. It's been a long time. It's been over 50 years that we can sit up here and take that stand. We can sit up here and bear witness that direction we come to. When we go interact with other people, I already see that, whoa, I'm not better than them, but I can see I'm more advanced as far as with the religion or in how to deal with the religion, dealing with the people in reference to the religion. I'm not telling them no stories about the companions from the hadiths. I'm not telling them that. I'm telling them the story of what I experienced, I encountered. And I know where I started from and I know where I'm at right now. This is why this halal industry is very, very, very important, and I hold it very close to my heart because I understand how we got there. And all we can do is share with the believer what we understood, what we encountered. And anybody that never been through it, we can give them a real story on how we went about doing this. They'll tell you this around the masjid. I'm always telling the elders to come forward to tell a story, because that helps motivate, inspire those who's coming behind us. That's why it's very important that we build this halal industry. And we changed that condition of our heart. What did we change? First of all, if you can go back and we remember, the first thing we eliminated was the flesh of swine. The flesh of swine. That was holding heavy on our heart. Do you know our heart is the most important organ in the body? It pumps blood to every part of the body. And it's very significant in the movement. Wherever is needed blood in the area, the heart pumps harder to get blood to it. And that's the same thing, and I'm looking at the halal industry. Same thing. It's the same concept. It's designed to pump success, pump, finance, pump the ability to build, establish the criteria that can help mankind as well as our own kind. We can't forget about our own kind, because if we can't deal with our own kind, we're going to have a hard problem dealing with mankind. So it's important. That's why we say the African-American descendants of slaves, that we want their attention. Not to sit up here and put them on a pedestal. It's just that share our experience of what we understand, what happened. Why Allah put us through this journey? He didn't do it because of malice. He wanted to raise up man in the image of himself, as we can say. As Imam Muhammad used to always say, God's man. That brother, he's God's man. You know, I used to look at it like, man, who's God's man? What do you mean by that? But it took me a little minute for it to sit, and then it hit me, and I understood what he was talking about. Allah is the one who raised you up. God is the one who raised you up, not nobody out in the streets. You know, in a history class, God is the one who do that. And it all starts with you first. You're the one. You're the one that you strive to be the Imam over yourself. You get control over yourself, be the Imam over you, you be an Imam over your family, you can be an Imam over the community. I like to announce and comment with Imam Bilal. He will always say that I'm already in charge because I'm in charge of myself. And that wasn't big-headed. That was very intelligent. And I looked at it and I said, he's right. You get control over yourself. You get control over everything you get involved in. You don't have to take a back seat to nobody. And this is why we sit up here and we want to establish the halal industry, because it will free us up of all this crazy chaos that we are surrounded by. This is the only thing, it will be the only thing that's moving out here in this society can check this society. If you ever notice in this society, they always want to get something on you. Get someone on you and hold you hostage to it. Whether it's how they will say, sell your soul for the dollar, do some blight. They got something down on you that you can't say nothing, so you have to do what we ask. We coming halal? Nah, we're not playing underhand stuff. We're not going for the old underhand stuff. Everything has to be upright, transparent, fair and honest, even if it went against yourself. These are the things that we've been taught. So this is designed to offset this society. And if the society doesn't have nothing on you, they're going to leave you alone. And if we move with Allah's name, they can't create a lie against you. That's the difference. And this is what we be sharing with the believers, the Muslims, and any person as well. This is our experience. This is what we got to offer when we come to the table and sit down. We ain't coming in here looking for no crumbs, looking for somebody to save us. No, we done saved ourselves from the hellfire. That's what Allah said, told us first, save yourself from the hellfire. So you have to give it some attention, else you wouldn't have never grew out of that state of mind. You have to give your attention to Allah. And that meant by getting active, getting involved in the community. All these things that the community brought about, that's what we had to do. That's what we had to do. And the more we was away from this society, the more we built the world up against the society. So therefore now when you go out to society, you can't come around me with that blight. I remember Imam Muhammad saying, look, I don't want no dirty money. Don't bring me no dirty money. Don't even try it. Imam Bilal took the same stand. So all of us took the same stand. You understand? Because we understood what he was talking about. We understood the purpose of what we was trying to establish. But we had to prove it to ourselves first. Here we coming up with 50-year anniversary next week for the Imam Muhammad. 95 years from the beginning of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Those things are time we lay close to our heart because we understand what it was, what the purpose was. We understand what the purpose was. And when we come about to go about it, ain't nobody ashamed of. This is why I can't get the youngsters, the families from the kids from the people that migrated from the Nation of Islam and Imam Muhammad. They almost forgot about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and vaguely know Imam Muhammad. But you can come tell me some other stuff about what the Hadith says. I don't have nothing against the Hadith, the companion. But we're not living back there at that time. We living up in this time where we have to take the religion and generate our own Hadith. How we went about them. What did they do in certain situations? Remember, it's been a slow time that we were growing with that. We learned or we seen the outcome of every situation we encounter. And then if we already know how Allah works, he's going to show you all the wrong first. He's going to identify, show you the wrong, so you know what you're looking at. I remember when we come in the construction, I have a little background in that. I always tell them, ask them, what can I do and what can I do and what can I not do? So therefore, when I set up the plan, it's based on carrying and taking advantage of both sides. I know what not to do, and I know what I can do. So you can't trick me or force me to do anything against the criteria. I'm gonna stay upright and always stay ahead of what's going on. This is what I've taught to, because they couldn't figure out how you were so advanced. How you so advanced? Or how come you didn't fall for the things that we threw at everybody? Because I wasn't about it. He used to walk around and say, look, you think you Teflon. No, I just don't deal with that stuff. I done grew away from that. The drugs and the alcohol, the flesh of swine. I already grew away from that. Now, we want to be the best example to mankind, to the people that we can be. And all we can do is be the best example and be fair to it. But we have to change. that condition of our heart. That veil, they used to say, what they said, the majority of the people are ignorant. The masses of the people are more ignorant. Yeah, they still have a veil over their eyes. That veil represents that flush of swan, drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Because you can't see beyond that. It blocks your senses. All you see is emotion. They used to say, when I just seen red, that's your emotion. Now, when we look, Allah said that we are not the aggressor. We can't approach anything, or the Muslim can't approach everything from an aggressive point. We have to be humble. That did help pull against your heart. That toned down, beat down your emotion. How we got to that? From the 5 pillars. We learned to fast. We learned to fast away from things, to get control over our emotion. So all these things that we encounter, that we learn within the religion, very, very, very beneficial to us in our whole makeup. That's why we are where we are today. A lot of people don't understand it, but we do, because we went through it. For those who understand, as the Lord said in the Quran, it's because you've been through what we're talking about. You lived it. You got the mental scars, the trials and tribulations from all those beings. And it's all part of our journey. That is our journey that began, like I said, with the Nation of Islam. From the Nation of Islam to right now. And we can mark and tag the whole place or the whole direction how we came from. And there's always people that Allah leaves around to tell the story. There's a lot of people have left us that we know, but it's still a lot of people that here that can bear witness to what we encounter. And that's what it's meant for. Okay, I just want to hold up for 1 minute to do a PSA. We got James Bilal again. James Bashir. I'm sorry. Yeah, excuse me, James. I get caught up with James Bilal. I was just messing with him today. Still on my mind. You understand? So with that, it's Nate Muhammad. Halal industry. Do for self. Here's James Bashir.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Nate. Assalamu alaikum. American Muslim 360, the #1 Islamic radio station in the nation. Support Muslim Journal digitally or manuscript or both. Muslim Journal is 60 plus years in existence. Join us every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for an edition of the Halal Industry Do for Self with your hosts, Imam Wali Ayyub Bilal, President, Founder, and CEO of Bilal's Inc., and co-host James Bashir Nate Muhammad and Brian Ali. The interest of Bilal's Inc. is to establish economics for the African-American people, descendants of the slaves of America. This program is to encourage people to unite and to build economic strength, to establish a community life by doing for self, to build the model community.
Hey, James. Thank you there, Brother James. That was James with the PSA. And here we're back with our conversation here with Nate Muhammad, the Halal industry. I just want to remind everybody that it's very important when we sit here and talk that we have some of the elders, those who were right there with you. So if you happen to say anything, they can correct you, they can bear witness to it, admonish you, whatever. That's the important. I was sitting back and you couldn't help it how from that stage to get into the halal industry or being halal, it uplifts your spirit and make you more your sincerity come out. Not your personality, your sincerity. That's what changed what was in your heart. Your sincereness. You can approach the people sincere. And the people will be the one to take, not society. People take. Allah moves, God moves through the people. That's why he wants you to take care of his people, his creation. He the one created man and woman, or mankind. Man didn't do it. Man is doing everything he can to destroy. And the only reason why he's destroying is because his heart is still cold. He has to eliminate the things that's out of his heart, which society has put in. You look at all this stuff that's going on out here, the people is very, very cold-hearted, quick-tempered, shoot you in a minute. Everybody afraid to say something to anybody. I don't say nothing to them. I don't even look at it. No. He's either mad at the world or he's pretending. So you can't be afraid of him. He just happened to put a gun in his hand, a bat, whatever. And if they mad at the world, what has the world done to you that got you mad? You know, God said, all the good come to you is from him. All the bad come to you is from yourself. And if you are mad at the world, what have you done to the world to be all mad? You have to go back and reflect on yourself. Repeat? I just had the request to repeat. God, all the good come to you is from God. All the bad come to you is from yourself. And you have to, in order for you to correct yourself, you have to go back and see what have you done or what has been done that caused you to be mad at the world. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to go all the way back. And yeah, you might skip past you, but you got to go back to the society because we all are a reflection of the society. Society is the one that we move off of, or we've been moving on. Society been the one has been putting their will down on mankind, causing them to be mad. But you can't take out your frustration on the people. You have to go to get some understanding of what's going on. I remember a little story that I went through when I first came in the community. I wanted to know who and what. Why is our people, the African Americans, descendants of slaves, on national television getting beat, kicked, stomped, beat down, and abused unmercifully? National television. It wasn't out of just newspapers, national television. Why? What did we do to deserve that? When I had to sit there, and the brother told me, when I asked him, he said, brother, you want that answer? You're going to have to submit to the will of the law. Huh? Submit to the will of the law? I said, well, okay. Because I wanted the answer. I wanted to know why. What did we do? No. I come to find out through my little bit of journey and striving and all that we didn't do a thing in that sense. Allah put us over here because he was putting us in to create his name, his kind of name. It's just like a baby being born, coming in here. Remember, we were stripped of everything, knowledge, everything. So therefore, we had nothing. And Allah guided us to right where we at today, through those generations, through these decades and generations. You remember every generation, decade, we got a little better. Look at it. Going back and check it out. Check out the progress. We got all the way till we can stand up on our own 2 feet. And I knew we have arrived because we stood up and said, you little stinking devil, you, get on out of here. And I said, whoa. And from where we came from to get there, that is a hell of a fleet. And it was now Once we got there, we could stand up. Now we have to find out what was the purpose. What was the purpose? Oh, okay. What was the purpose for all that? And once we understood the purpose, we can adjust our character to that. We can sit back and say, okay, I understand what you're doing. You put me down. You showed me what was happening. Now I can adjust. I know what to do. I have an idea how to do it. Lead. And Imam Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him, he phrased it the best. Lead. We don't need nobody to teach us anything. We lead with what Allah wants and do things with sure. That was the greatest advice. I mean, it was more relief for me because I was trying to figure out how we going to deal with these people, the crazy people, and we have to have an approach. And when the Imam said that, oh man, that relieved me. Oh, I know how to deal with these guys. I have something to come at them with. I got something to work with. This is what we've been striving for. This is what we've been striving, and Allah guided us all the way to this point right here. And we still got a lot of work to do. But that's all Allah's plan. That's not my plan. My plan is how we going to bring about this halal industry, get that up and running. That's my plan. That's what I'm worrying about. I ain't worrying about nothing else. That's my whole purpose right here, is to establish in this halal industry. Man gets what he strive for. Well, that's what I'm striving for. And with the help of Allah and all the other brothers and sisters that support us, we're going to get this through. We're going to establish it. But we have to change our condition of our heart. There's no more, you go talk to our people, we got the biggest one with the attitude. Their heart is inflicted by pain. Man, Muhammad told us that the African-American people was mad because slavery was forced on them. And if you know anything about anything forced on you, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So when we deal with each other, we got to deal with that bad taste coming from each other. And we have to figure out and learn how to deal with it. Majority of the time, they just need to vent. Get the little pain off their heart. Get it out. Get it out. I usually always tell, just talk. This is why we want the elders and everybody to tell their story, because you get everything off, as we say, off your chest, but it put everything out in the open. Whether your likes and your dislikes, you're always going to have both of them. There's going to always be something you dislike, and it's going to always be something that you like. Just like there's always going to be people that like you, and there's people that don't like you. I remember we used to be with Imam Bilal, and I couldn't figure out, why these people hate you, man? Why these people don't like you? I don't know. I ain't never done nothing to them. I know that. That's why I can't figure out why they, what you act, you act like you stuck them up and beat pistol whipping and stuff. No. But that's how the people is. And we have to adjust our whole approach in dealing with that to be able to move through there untouched. Which that's mental health. I just been informed again about mental health. That's what we have. That's what we're dealing with. That's better than saying they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we used to say back in the, oh, he crazy. He crazy man. No, it's mental health today. It's a serious problem because, hey, we went through things and nobody can clear nothing up for us. This society that we're living in, all they do is lie to you or lie to us. They don't be fair and honest with us, but they want you to be fair and honest with them. That can't work. We can't accept that. But it's up to us in our whole endeavors to create a way how we can institute a halal setting. And that's by being an example of what we're talking about. We can't force our ideology on them when there's no compulsion in the religion. So all we can be is an example. Give a word to the right. Be a service to the people. That's through a word to the right. That's not saying be a flunky to the people, because we have to watch how we come about dealing with the people, because they will use you in your sincerity, and they can play with you with that. How do we know? We done experienced it. And we're supposed to learn from our experience. That is the best teacher, as they say. From what I heard, it might be different. Somebody else might could say it different. But your experience is the best teacher. That's why I like the elders to come in, tell their story. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that they experienced that they didn't like, left a bad taste in their mouth. We all got it. But you have to remember, they're all creatures of Allah. When Allah called them back, we say, Allah brought him in and he took them out. But you have to remember, in between that, you would look and see what they was all about. What did they stand for? What was how was they character? What kind of person that they were? That's what is left in the remembering of that person. Did you learn anything from that person? A lot of them speak about the family, the parents, mother or father, that they still hold very close to their heart because they learned a lot from. Anybody you learned a lot from, society is going to respect you, or the people is going to respect you. The people is going to respect you. And that's all man needs as he maneuver in around society is respect. Every man identified with respect, being respect. And how much respect he get measured what kind of person he was. Majority, but in this society, how much they don't like you determine that how good you are. It's funny. The guy, oh, he a bad person. He the best thing since sliced bread for the people. And that person that we say that's a good person, he just as rotten as he can be. Just as crooked as a $3 bill. That's why when you read the signs, you done cleared your mind where you can identify what's going on around your high room. What's happening around you. Knowing that everything is moved around what Allah wants. Again, he's not going to do everything for you, but he'll put you in a position that you can do it yourself. I reflect back, we was talking about how our people survived during slavery and during that time. And I come to find out, we were reading that they lived off the land. They lived off the land. They couldn't go to the hospital. They had to create their own remedy for a thing. That's why you can always go back to grandmom and great-grandmom. She always got a remedy for whatever ails you. That's how they survived. They stuck together because they ain't had no choice. The family was always tight. And you still see the remnants of that today. Our family is real tight. Kept everything going. This is what happened to us. This is what caused us and helped us survive those trying times. But they still designed for you to learn from it. Look at it. Look at the sign that Allah left it. Don't look at the pain, the emotion, because if you continue to look at the emotion and pain, you'll never grow. It'll go stunt your growth because you're going to get caught up in the midst. But if you read the sign, you can rise above everything that happens. And I believe that's how a lot of our people survive during that era. That's why we should write our book, have a book we write, from slavery to the halal industry, and what went on from the beginning all the way to this point here. What went on from that period to now. This is what we need to do. Tell our story. We ain't got to worry about people who are erasing our history. All they doing is erasing how rotten they were. That's what they want to erase. They can't erase our history because of law. Everything's been recorded. Whether you like it or not, just like your life, don't you think everything you do, whether it's good and bad, is recorded? Nobody is clear to do whatever they want. Nobody. Everything is recorded. I'll always leave people to tell the story. And this is why we have to regenerate and establish that criteria so our people, especially the youth coming behind them, can get the book and read it. Put it on a disc and they can play it on a CD just so they know they can hear it. This is why it's important. You tell your story. Now, if you faking it, well, you can't tell a story if you fake it. You're gonna have to tell on yourself. You have to tell how much of a liar you are. But if you're sincere, lead with what Allah said. Lead with what God said. You can sit down and tell your story because that's your understanding. The glory, Allah, God gets that. You just want to understand it. You can share your story. You can share your understanding. All you have to do is tell it. But we have to strive to get to wherever we want, get to wherever we need to do. This is why it's important that we all be able to get around, come around each other. This is important. We come around each other and be able to elaborate what happened. Can't come around each other with attitudes. Well, I ain't like what he did, or I don't like who he run with, or he don't that. Get that stuff out of here. Allah is Akbar, not nobody else. And when we come in here, we come humble. We come humble and respectful. That's how Allah say approach everything, humble and respectful. And if you come peacefully, because your heart is peaceful, that's why, again, you change the condition of your heart, you change yourself. You have to get past that. You don't have to. You don't have to have. It's all right to have no Arabic, know the religion, know the history of the religion and all that. But you also have to know the history of mankind as well as yourself. That's why you can intermingle with each other wholesomely, with a halal spirit, not with this old, as they would call it, old Negro spirit. Nobody want to hear that. My Islam, hey, Brian, how are you today? I hear you. I know you there. You coming. We see you. You all right. We'll call. But that's why we can always elaborate. We can talk with each other where nobody is offended. Sometimes you don't like what you hear, but you still don't, you're not offended. Because why? You still have the lifeline, the bond. Sitting around glad to have the law coming down my school. That's the common denominator. I always say that binds all of us together. All of mankind, as well as our own kind. Whether they know it or not, that's very important. So when we go to establish this halal industry, as Imam Bilal wrote out, we have to unite. First, not when you feel like it, not sometime, maybe. No, you have to unite first. Then we have to do for ourselves. We have to support each other, put near each other in business. Once we all is in business, then we're ready for our community, our model community, because the business takes care of the community. The business take care of the community. That's why it's important that we learn the steps. These are steps that's been created. You just don't read a book. We had these little guys come in the mess here. They think they the best thing since sliced bread. They know everything. Yeah, but they where you live at? Can you do you have your own resident? Do you have your own job? Do you have a job? No, but you telling me the religion. You're talking to me about the religion. Yo, you got to get the order, the structure first. The religion comes later. You have to be able to take care and take charge of yourself. You have to become your own imam. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nothing. But the road that society takes them, put them in that predicament, and then they come, we got to go deal with them. I ain't mad at them, but I don't accept how they come about. Because I know the road that you're going to have to take based on what I take. It don't make me better or wiser or whatever. I'm just being honest with you. You know, I can't turn back the hands of time, and I ain't going to look and continue to look backwards. You understand? My head is pointed forward. We talking about the future now. We already know what not to do, what not to accept. Now all we have to do is plan for tomorrow. But we have to get all that loose baggage off our back. It's like a hoarder. Got all this from every stage of growth and development. You're bringing all your baggage. Well, you got to take the good out of it and leave the rest go. Let it go. Free yourself up. Running around here all messed up and want to mess everybody else up because you're miserable. Okay, we want to have James again read PSA, and then we want to bring on Brian after that. Are you ready out there, Brian?
Yes, sir.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
Assalamu alaikum. Support Graceline community in their efforts to educate on financial literacy and promote financial functionality. Why? Historical disparity primarily amongst the medium, low to no income persons. CWSC Model Community National Resource Directory, the MCNRD, is where you can connect with resourceful people willing to dedicate volunteer hours to assist you in your efforts of nonprofit or for-profit interests. Individuals with more social concerns can connect you with our volunteer human resource network. CWSC's VHRN information can be shared as to who, when, and or where to get the service you need. But before we bring on Brother Brian, as always, we want to thank Sister Sherry and Sister Martha for all the work they do. Because without them, this program would not exist. If it did, it wouldn't go on as smoothly. So again, we thank Sister Sherry and Sister Martha for all they do. May Allah continue to bless them and keep them strong and just make sure they're around forever. Inshallah.
I mean,
Assalamu alaikum. Now we're going to bring, get Brother Nate the phone again.
All right, with that said, We like to bring on Brother Brian Ali. Brian Ali, you have the floor.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. First, I want to extend the greetings of Assalamu alaikum to all the listening audience and all those who are within earshot of my voice. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the few syllables that I have to spread out there and listening to my colleagues, the brothers with me that speak. I appreciate the opportunity once again to come before you and say a few words. What I was thinking about mostly, though, is in today's society, we are often given an explanation about a particular situation, and then we're asked to evaluate the explanation without any verification that the explanation is valid or true. Well, that's a mouthful. But what I'm trying to say is, in today's society, we're getting explanations about things and asked to hook, line, and sinker swallow that explanation without them verifying what they said is true. They're saying certain things and giving these elaborate, long explanations, whether it's social, political, economics, and often the longer the explanation, the less likely that it is true. And so they ask us to skip a step, go right from the explanation to an evaluation of the explanation. But what we need to do is, if we don't understand their explanation about the particular economic climate or the war here and there and why it took place, we have to ask for a demonstration, some validity. Show us how what you just explained to us is valid, is true. Often they're not prepared to do that. They're not prepared to tell us the truth, because more than likely what they were explaining is not exactly true. But they are masters at explaining and explanations, but they're not masters at demonstration. They're not being able to show you. If someone were to perform work on your car, you want a demonstration that they did the work and did it properly. If they just gave you your car keys back and say we did the work and asked for payment, and the next day the car is doing the same thing it was doing when you took it in, it's a demonstration to you that their explanation of what was wrong with the car was incorrect. And now we have to get at the true problem, the true situation. And how do you do that? You have to ascertain the truth. You have to do an evaluation of what's wrong and not just be given an explanation, but be given a demonstration of how this is going to correct. What we're going to do is going to correct the situation. But mostly we're being asked, just accept the explanation. Explanations. I'll give you another analogy if I can. There's a spark and there's a flame. An explanation is more like a spark. It may pique your interest. It may keep your attention for a minute or two, but it's just a spark. Demonstration is a flame. A flame is truth. That flame shows you what it is and what it is consuming the false things around it, and it is illuminating what the situation is and what the proper handling of the situation should be. That flame can often become a fire. Now, many of us seem to be afraid of the fire. We're always told it's a fire. Oh, it's bad. My house caught on fire. The forest is on fire. It's burning down trees. However, fire is also good. Fire can purify and sterilize implements and tools so there's no infection. Fire can illuminate and show the way, show the ignorance that is darkness all around us. The fire can generate enough illumination so that we can go our very good way, the right way. Fire can warm you when the elements turn to freezing and below sub-freezing, and actually keep you alive. Fire can cook your food so that you can digest it. None of us actually, animals can, but we cannot digest raw meat. We can't just bite a dead animal, even if it's been slaughtered properly. Our digestive system, our makeup is not designed to gain nutrients out of that raw flesh. The fire changes the composition so it becomes palatable, it becomes digestible to us, and we can get nutrition out of the meats. And so we cook, so the fire can be good. They try to use fire against us because fire also, this is my opinion, will represent the truth. But it also represents your faith. Your faith can become like a flame and then a fire, because that fire is like, I know Brother James, Brother Nate, y'all remember when back in the day, minister would come up to the roster and talk that talk, and he'd say, man, minister can talk that talk, man. Minister was fired up because his faith was there, and his faith moved him, motivated him, inspired him to say a word to the right. Minister fired up. In sports, someone's got the hot hand. So they say, get a ball to him. He's on fire. Fire is not always a bad thing, and they want you to turn away from the fire by trying to make you afraid of the fire and afraid of the truth. Abraham to Christians, wanted to get to the truth. And he saw all the idols, and the idols were being worshiped by his father and his father's companions. And he said, why do you worship these things? They can do nothing for you. As a matter of fact, you do everything for them. And their, listen, explanation was this. We found our fathers doing this, and our fathers did this, and we will do this like they did. Then Ibrahim at night went in and destroyed all of the idols except the biggest one. When the elders came back the next month, said, who did this to our gods? And they said, well, it was a youth, and he was talking like this, like he would do this. And he went and grabbed him and brought him before the elder and said, did you do this to our gods? And Ibrahim said, no, I did. Well, wait, here's this one. Ask him. And he said, you know, these gods can't talk to us, can't communicate with us. Then why do you serve them? Right then, they tried to use a fire. Even his father wanted to throw him in the fire. They want to kill him for being a truth teller and demonstrating to them that what they were explaining was a lie, that what they were living was a lie. They couldn't handle it. Throw him into the fire. And so they catapult and threw him into the burning fire. Well, Allah said, no, be cool. And Ibrahim walked out of the fire untouched. Don't let them make you afraid of the fire. Don't let them make you scared of the flame. Embrace the truth. Embrace your faith. Your faith will lead you where you need to go. You got to understand that. A lot of times, what is it saying? It says, you can't find a needle in a haystack. It's difficult to find a needle in a haystack. True, large haystack, small needle. It could be difficult. However, If you burn the haystack, all that will be left is the needle. So if you use the truth, the fire, to burn away all the lies and the falsehood, all that will be left is what? The resounding truth. And the thing you search for, the goal that you have, is to have good, solid, strong faith. In a nutshell, some people say, well, the fire may melt the needle. Unless you're talking about a blaze so intense that it reaches such a intense level, the needle will be there, the hay will be gone, and you will be able to go after the goal, find it, go after it, attain the goal. The goal is Jannah. But if you're afraid of the fire, if you're afraid of the truth, how are you going to reach Jannah? Oh man, you talking about fire, man, fire like the hellfire? It also says in scripture that it will be intensely cold. Think about something. We need to be the people who discern the truth and then live by that truth by speaking that truth. If we are not going to be those people, what is to differentiate us from the what you call kafir or the disbeliever? They have two arms, two legs, two eyes, one head, a heart. What is going to differentiate us from them? We need to not separate so much as be distinctive, because the believer should stand out. What stands out? A fire will stand out. No one says, oh, my, there's a fire. I think I'll keep reading this book. No, a fire stands out. A fire can be dangerous, but a fire can also be helpful. If you use the fire in the right manner, it can help you. If you're an arsonist, of course, you're abusing that privilege of having a fire. But it's just like being, drugs are not bad. It is drug abuse that's bad. Alcohol is not bad. It's alcohol abuse that is bad. When we become abusive with things and we misuse things, we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater and say the thing is bad. It's the abuse of it that's bad. Let's not abuse ourselves by misdirecting ourselves, by being misguided about what fire is. Yeah, man, I was fired up last night. But they also give bad connotations to fire so that you are a little apprehensive. You have a little doubt. Hey, I understand it and can comprehend it, but I also realize that we're going to have to go through some trials and tribulations that will seem intense, that will seem like a fire. But again, if we have a sincere heart, if we have a pure heart, if we have a good heart, we will be able to walk through the fire like Ibrahim was able to walk through the fire that was supposed to destroy him and did not. You won't know until you try. None of us have been put into a bonfire, although there's a book that showed that our former oppressors and slave masters actually would put our ancestors on spits, large spits, over open flames and rotate and rotisserie until their body dehydrated and they died. And then they took pictures of the bodies and pieces of the bodies. That's a savagery that we cannot stoop to. But that is one of the things that they are afraid of, that we will become as their ancestors were, vile, violently vile. And that scares, how did Christians say? That scares the bejesus out of them. that we will be that way. So they have been distorting things, and they have been trying to hold us back from getting information about things. They've been putting a narrative out, and the narrative is false. And it's a narrative about us that's been circulated around the globe. And others then come here, Muslims included, and treat us with a disdain because of the stories and the narrative that they've been told. However, their narrative that they have distributed around the world is also false. So if we can just demonstrate who we are, the demonstration will eliminate the explanation. And then let these people coming here from different parts of the world do their own evaluation of who we are and what we will do and what we won't do and what we stand for and what we stand against. We must demonstrate that. If we know what's haram, then it's haram. If we know what's halal, then it's halal. Let's demonstrate that. That's how we get to halal. If we know what's right, let's do what's right. If we know what's wrong, let's shun the wrong. Let's demonstrate that. If your foot slips, get up. If your brother's foot slipped, help him up. This is how we get to where we need to be. I'm not trying to be too preachy, but I'm trying to put together an analogy so that we, in our minds, we can go out, move out in the right manner, with the right purpose, fixated on being the best version of ourselves, so that when they come with the lies, and now they're even lying about what's a lie. When they come with the lies, the people will say, no, man, I know Rahman, I know Abdullah, I know Brother Nate. These are good people, man. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? These are good people. Why are you telling me I should hate them? Why are you telling me that I should shun them? Why are you telling me that we have to deport them? We have to send them someplace else. Now we have to question, what are they hiding? Let's do our own investigation and ascertain the truth and find out what that truth is, and then live by that truth, even if it hurts ourselves. Let's make the correction necessary. Let's not dwell on it, but let's see and let's understand where we are, what we have to do, and then we can combine our efforts to know what we need to do. We don't even have to be in the same geographic location. We can just combine our minds, combine our hearts, and make the movement necessary to eradicate and eliminate the lies that they have put out about us once and for all. That's the groundwork that halal will be nourished in. That's the groundwork that halal will germinate in that soil and grow up, so that even non-Muslims saying, yeah, I like this halal thing. Man, I got to look into that. Because when people know the truth, they often will gyrate. They will go towards the truth. They don't go towards a lie. You can fool a child, a 5 or 6 year old. But once they get to the age of knowing things, they begin to ask more and more questions, because it's in their innate nature to know things as they are. It's in all of our nature. Some of us just take an unbridled joy in lying. The current administration now has a championship belt in lying, and will lie on top of a lie, and then declare the person who identified the lie as fake and a liar. See, Shaitan does not want us to just not believe or even to accept the lie as truth. He wants us to not be able to ascertain the truth. Because if you don't know what is true, you don't know what is up, what is down, what is right, what is wrong, then you can be told anything. You can be shown anything. You've been told to grab the anchor of a boat because it will save you from drowning. That's when you don't know the truth. That's when you don't know what's really going on. like Marvin said, what's going on? We need to find out what's going on, because you can't do anything if you don't know what's happening. And if someone comes to you and tells you it's raining and you stick your head out and the sun is out, you're like, and that fool don't know what he's talking about. Oh, no, no, no. I meant that it was going to rain. Yes, it's going to rain. And then he's all day long. No, no, you know what? That was supposed to be later tonight. And night comes in. You know what? They lied to us. Never taking responsibility because he wanted to misguide you, wanted to mislead you. And let me say this, we've been lied to before, but our father Adam was lied to. But I have to correct something. There was never a lie before he was lied to. So he couldn't identify probably the lie, even though he was told this is an enemy. But imagine now, when we can easily access the truth, why are we accepting the lie? And why are we inviting the liar to come in and sit down and break bread with us? We should be acknowledging that this person is not a truthful person. We should be acknowledging it to our friends and family and associates. This person is not a truthful person. What they say cannot be taken as truth, taken as valid. We cannot accept it. Isn't that what it says in Quran? If they're true, if they've been known to lie, don't accept their testimony anymore. They will be tagged. You can tell the truth for 30, 40, 50 years and one lie, and all of your truth becomes suspect after the lie. That's why it is so pertinent. We keep after the truth, that we keep telling the truth over and over, that we keep living the truth over and over. Is it glamorous? No. Is it a spark? No. See, a spark can be a lie. And if you add the LE to the spark, you get sparkle. And it's like, ooh, in that purdy. And it gets your attention. Wow, you should be paying attention to something else. You've been distracted. And now what was really going on all along has gotten into a situation or been blossomed into a giant thing that will take all of your energy, all of your time just to wrestle it down and get it under control. And in the meantime, there's another one. So every time you put one fire out, there's another building burning down. And so we run from fire to fire to fire, but we have never been able to generate the love and compassion that we should have for one another. Because now we're starting to look at it, well, he might have started that fire. Well, I gotta, I gotta control. This is my stuff over here. You keep your stuff over there. So the distrust starts and the envy starts because of competition. And then the lying starts because we don't want to seem less than. And we don't want them to seem like they think they're better than. And again, the whole thing gets convoluted. The whole thing gets mixed up. We end up where we shouldn't have been. And all I'm saying is, don't go for the spark. Go for the flame and let that flame burn inside of you. Let that truth burn inside of you and fuel it with what? Fuel it with your faith. Fuel it with your prayers. Fuel it with your charity. Fuel it with your good intentions and your good heart. And the flame will burn bright and you will glow bright and you will be seen as mu'min. And then enough of us do that, the mu'minun will outshine the liars. And the liars will be afraid of the light, afraid of the truth. They are the ones who are actually afraid of the truth, trying to make you seem like you're afraid of the truth, of the flame, of the fire. This is a good fire. Let's get fired up. Send the word out. Brothers and sisters, I've already once again overstayed my welcome probably, and I want to say thank you first to the brothers. Thank you for allowing me to share my few thoughts. And I will relinquish the mic and turn it back over to our good brother, the one and only Nate Muhammad. I will leave you as I greeted you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Unmute yourself.
Yes, thanks, Brother Brian. That's the professor. Do what he do. Alhamdulillah. Find me. But that's what we bring. Everybody brings something to the table. Everybody brings things to the table. And we can identify with everything. We can identify with everything that he said because we experienced it. You got that on right? It is very important that we pay attention to each other. That we pay attention to each other so we can learn from each other. We pick up on a lot of things from each other. Man, Muhammad told us that when you listen to somebody speak, pick out the stuff that's going to help you. You don't have to go verbatim, word to word that they say, but pick what's going to help you. And this is what's all part of being informative. This is what we call being informative with each other. This is what we talk about. This is what we talk about all the time. Tell your story. Tell what's on your mind and what's in your heart. What we are here, we hear the sincerity coming from your heart. You sincere bringing that coming across the radio. The program. And it's important that we can inspire each other to continue to labor on. We're at a very critical point right now. It's a thin line whether we make it or break it. But the point is what's behind what you want to do. If you're sincere, we're gonna make it. If you have any doubt, then I don't think you're gonna make it. I don't have no doubt that we're not gonna make this. Because we came too far. We're so far in it. You can't turn back. You can't give up. So we might as well move on. Pull straight ahead and bring about that. And hope we can inspire more people as we move. We ain't gonna sit on no soapbox and jump out and point the finger and beat down the society. No. We're gonna just constantly do what we can do what we know how to do. We was already prepared for a lot of things that before we even got how the religions go, we was already aware. We wasn't as well as it is, but we had an idea. And what you doing? We have aware on what we doing. For instance, like I said, when we was around the nation, there is no God but Allah, Muhammad and his message. Here we come take our shahada, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Same thing, so we was prepared. We took one step, and just eased in and made that transformation real cool. Same thing with taking charge of our posts and all temple property in view. When we came in there and lost in the Quran, the Muslim is the maintainer and the protector of the masjid. That was an easy step because we understood what we was doing. This is why I was saying that we was already prepared to do this. Now, everything as we go, whatever next step, we've been prepared for. Allah don't put a burden on us that he hadn't prepared us first. So we can ease on in it, accept it. Don't sit back here, I don't know what they teaching. I don't know what they doing. No, we already know what we was doing because they already told us what's gonna happen. We was told what's gonna happen. So when it happened, hey, they wasn't lying. We're going to roll with them. You understand? That's how you can see Allah's hand on it. You understand? Because you see the direction. You see the understanding. You see how Allah had equipped us to identify his son. But all those who before us told us what was going to happen. And we just took an easy step right in it. And that's why he said, well, how you move around like this? Yeah, because I understand what happened. I ain't coming in here with no hocus pocus, with no all kinds of crazy talk. No, I'm staying focused on what our agendas is. Our agendas is to unite. But I know, based on where I came and how I came from, when we go to unite, we have to make sure everybody is cleaned up. We'll make sure that your heart is on the same level as everybody else. And we have ways to check that. I ain't got to sit up here and third degree you, interrogate you. No, I just sit back and watch you. I ain't got to, look, I don't have to do that. Just watch you. You ain't even got to tell me you're crazy or you have mental health. I just sit there and watch you. Not to beat you down. It's just to identify so we'll know what to do. That's very important, being able to identify what's around you. We ain't got to worry about somebody want to eliminate our history. No, we is our history. The brother at the masjid, that one masjid, oh yeah, we want to hear more of Imam Muhammad teaching. I said, why you want to do that? You should be an example for Imam Muhammad teaching. You don't got to hear it. You already know it. And if you go out and do what he said, how he said do it, then we've been all right. You won't have time to argue and listen if somebody teaching what the Imam teaching. We already exhibiting it. We living it. That's the most important thing. And that's based on your understanding. And your understanding comes from the journey that you came from. And if you can understand where you came from, you can understand where you're at. That's very important. Very, very important. So no matter who come up in front of us, you don't question them because we're not clashing. We're not trying to debate with ideology, who's this and who's that. I don't need to worry about that because we're already strong in our conviction because of our history, because of what we've been exposed to. And then we had imams around us that looked out and took care of the believers. There was imams that did that. We knew all the imams who were there, that was instrumental in establishing the criteria around us. And when they see us, we all identify with each other. We could identify. They knew. We stood out like 9 neon colors. Hey, y'all Imam Bilal guys. Yeah, they go the trap. The Bilal, yeah. They were saying the traveling Jamaat. They used to call us that time. Yeah. But we was known around. I won't say around the country, around the Delaware Valley. We definitely was known. And you couldn't just come and do and say any of those things around me. And all of them knew that. Watch what you say. Don't say nothing about Imam Bilal or Imam Muhammad. They set you straight real quick. Yeah. And this is why we have to build that camaraderie. And this is what we need in order to get everything in motion. I do know, yes, it's going to have to start with what few we got. We just do with what we got. I know Allah's going to be sending us more help. I know that. There's no doubt in my mind. But in the meantime, we still labor hard. Yeah. So we looking to clear out real early tonight. So with that, I want to bring James Bashir on with another, read some more PSA.
Assalamu alaikum. Join us. Join CWSC today. Join CWSC today. Go to cwsc.us and click on Join CWSC. Do not forget to click on the blue donate button while on our website. Join us every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an edition of the Halal Industry Do for Self with your hosts, Imam Wali and Ayyub, Bilal, President, Founder, and CEO of Bilal Inc., and co-hosts, James Bashir Nate Muhammad and Brian Ali. The interest of Bilal Inc. is to establish economics for the African American people, descendants of the slaves of America. This program is to encourage people to unite and to build economic strength, to establish community life by doing for self, to build a model community. And again, we want to thank Sister Martha and Sister Sherry for all their work. As always, without them, the program just wouldn't be the same. So again, we thank Sister Martha and Sister Sherry for all the work they do. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Yes. Thank you, Brother James, for reminding everybody the help that Sister Martha and Sister Sherry here has been doing. You don't know that these phones and instruments are very sensitive, and they don't take much to get out of whack. You understand? And they're right there, always been there for support and helping us bring everything back intact. Alhamdulillah. So our appreciation go out to you, because you earned that, putting up with us. You know, so alhamdulillah. Also now at this part, I just like to just bring one thing to their attention. It's about our brother Bilal Ibn Riba. I have to bring this up because nothing in history, there's not a big write-up history about all the things that he did. We don't get no information. All we find out, all we know, oh, he's a first New Wave. No, he's more than that. First of all, he was the second in command behind Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. And how he got there? He earned it. He earned it by standing up to glorifying Allah when everybody begged him to give in. Give up, Bilal. You'll never make it. Give up. No. He stood fast with the oneness of Allah, to Allah. And that's how he earned the one who facilitated everything. He the one that made sure the people knew what was going on. He the one. I always use the statement about the war. He the one laid down the rules. This is what we're going to do, fellas. We ain't going to kill no women and kids, no elderly. And even those who are enemy that's been hurt, we're not going to mess with them neither. We only fight those who fight us. But you're also sitting there as those people that he said not to hurt come against you. You got to fight them. He said, fight those who fight you. That's a more humble humanitarian position that they took. That's concern for the welfare of mankind under all conditions, drastic conditions. But we don't hear nothing about that. We don't hear anything, nothing. It hadn't been for Imam Wali Muhammad that brought out the Bilal, wanted to put us, the African American descendants of slaves, identify with the Bilal as Bilalians. Imam brought him and put him up. Other than that, we wouldn't have never even known. We wouldn't even know where to look at. This is what is going on right today, that they want to like almost whitewash you all the way across the board. Anything that the African American or any people of color had to do with the history of the world, they want to nullify it. So that's why we have to be the one, as Brian that said, stand up, get fired up to establish this here criteria. And only how we can do that is we stand up and be that example which we was meant to be. It's very, very, very important that we put this all part of our history right along with Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, put Bilal too. Nobody, I still see, talks about it. They even let him go. You get a little write-up on it. Oh yeah, he was buried in Damascus. What's that? Damascus, Syria. You know, wow. Nobody couldn't touch him. None of them, all the way to all the caliphs and all that couldn't touch him because he was independent of all of them. He did what none of them all did. He accepted what none of them all did. So they couldn't get him to bow down to them. This is why it was important. Our history is very important when we get here within the religion, within the country, as well as in the world. It's very important that we have to stand up. And if nobody want to blow their horn on us, we blow our own horn. And we blow our own horn by our action, not by our conversation. We ain't got to get on those soapbox and beat our chest in. No, we move. Stay focused on our objective, our agenda. We ain't got to take no backseat to nobody. We don't owe nobody an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody an explanation. Like Imam Bilal said, except what the law wants us to do. That's why we bow to him. That's why we get the utmost attention to. All we do is lead what Allah said and do things ashore and support each other in our effort. I say this and all the time because we have to continue to bring this and keep this out in front of us. Just like they had the lie out in front of, they kept it out in front of us. And then people start believing the lie or accepting the lie. No, we want to keep this halal, this position in front of us to establish it. Once it established, it'll do what it wants. Everything we get out here to do is based on establishing. Everything in Islam you have to establish. Nothing ain't gonna happen on GP, general person. You gotta make it happen. If you don't strive for it, he ain't getting it. There ain't no crime ain't gonna do. How that other commercial wish it won't do it, and how they used to say saving will. No, you got to earn that. You got to roll up your sleeve and get business.
Yes. No, Nate.
Yes.
No explanation, demonstration.
Okay. Yeah, that's the professor. He is great. But see, again, we can always, again, not interrupt, but elaborate, conversate. Because we all moving in the same direction. Our whole intention is the same thing. You want what I want, and I want what you want. It's already clear, or it's already been clear, that we are on the same page. It's just that we haven't really realized it because we haven't paid it no attention. We haven't read the signs yet. It's just like we were telling the people, especially the African American descendants of slaves, that you're already free. You already accomplished and conquered what you had to do. You just don't know it because you haven't paid it no attention. You're busy worrying about if your ball club won the pennant, if you think they had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
No, we got all kinds of stuff that divert us away from looking at what Allah has provided for us. It's sitting right in front of us. We just don't even see it. How they say, reach out and touch? No, reach out and see it. It can smack you right there in the face and you wouldn't even know. But it's been in front of us all along. All along. But society took our attention elsewhere. We sit back and worry about the kids. Society got their attention. Society is putting all this stuff in front of them, you understand? Drawing them away from their own people, their own community. And the community is running away from them, scared of them. No. We have to take the time and pay attention. This is, again, I don't know how much I have to say this, is that the elders have to tell their story. That rejuvenate everybody. The kids they hear something they never heard before. I mean, I ain't never heard nothing like that. Who that? Y'all been through that? Y'all did that? We sure did. Then we can compose our little book, our little history book, our book of our journey. Tell that story. Again, you heard it from me, from slavery to the halal industry. Look for it, because we're going to be putting that in motion, because we can tell our story. We got a couple book writers and they'll love to sit down and let the people tell their story and compose and compose everything into a book form. And then let you hear the history of our journey. We ain't got to go and listen to somebody else's story. We can listen to our own story. How we dealt with certain situations. I was telling the people the other day about a brother was talking about that situation at the end. And how did y'all deal with that? What we did was we corrected everything. When we got the kids, first thing we're going to do, we're going to check them right away. How did you handle it? We had no problem the next year. Everybody's sitting in here, and we ain't had no news people floating around. You know, no people, all the political people floating on. It was just us. We can handle it because we've seen the problem. It happened because Allah wanted us to give some attention to that situation. Because nothing we could have did to have stopped that. So if we couldn't have stopped it, Allah wanted us to see something. And what we've seen is that we got to check them. Just like we used to check for blight, we check for any kind of device. And we didn't have no news people came around us and asked us what we did. You know, if that had happened again, they'd have been all around us. They would, you know, yeah, that's when they come out. Yeah. Well, we started 3 minutes. All right, okay. There we go again. Is that behind the scene direction? You understand that? Okay, I don't want no trouble. Alhamdulillah. But I'm just saying, this is us. This is it's time for us. You understand? Because we know we have to get it done. And we keep talking, and I know we can walk out that door. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but whatever it brings, Allah already prepared us for it. And we were promised this success if we held fast, we persevered, we prayed, and been patient. Allah promises that. And that's what I look forward to. Then if we don't get it, alhamdulillah. If it don't come, alhamdulillah. Somebody gonna come and do it. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. Won't be upset with all that because Allah is in control. Now, nothing happened without Allah's permission. When you're ready to let it go, then you let it go. That's fine with me. This is where our theme is that we done got on the same page with Allah. They're witnessing that He's in control, not me. I'm not the man. I'm not. Just follow His guidance, as the Imam said over here, and do things ashore. That's all we can do. Can't do nothing else. And I'm happy with that because I can identify with it. We are happy. Okay, we are happy with that because we can identify with this here. And no matter where it takes us, we've seen it before, or they just open the door for us. One or the other. None of it is going to shake us. You understand? Because we got too much time into this. Wear and tear. You know? We already been what we was called the Bilalians. We all here come the Bilalians. You know? Yeah. But that's what we was about. Still. Yeah. Because the point is, as Brian said, we just have to fire the people back up. Fire the people back up, and they're going to see our spirit. All right. With that, I'd like to thank you for listening to us. And we look forward to next week. Another edition of the Halal Industry. Do for Self. With your host, James Bashir Nate Muhammad. And we also don't forget the professor. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate your comments. Your suggestion is always welcome. And again, those who are in the background, we appreciate your effort for just being here. So with that, we'd like to close our program with Assalamu alaikum. Nate Muhammad. Islam. Good.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sister Khalidah Akbar. I will not be airing tonight. We are practicing for the IWDM 50. I would like, if anybody can hear my voice and are a host on AM 360, go ahead and play, upload Imam Muhammad, Rahim Allah Alay, and inshallah, we will see you next week. And if not, listening audience, do yourself a favor and go to YouTube and listen to 1975 to 1985, because that's what we will be presenting. And we're going to have a trivia. So inshallah, you will be well familiar with the 1975 to 1985 decade. May the Allah's peace and blessings be upon us all. Again, this is Sister Khalidah. Narrative Aspirations will not be airing because we are practicing as a group last week, this week, and one more week, inshallah, on a Zoom. Okay, I hope to see you at IWDM 50. And again, if there's a host that can upload any type of presentation from Imam Muhammad, Rahim Allah Alay, we would really appreciate that. And if not, please go to YouTube if you have the access and watch one of the videos. I'm gonna say Al-Fatiha and then I'm gonna salam out. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim walid-dallin. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum, and see you at IWDM 50. Please go to the website and register today. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Martha Nyla Williams here. Abdullah. I'm here to let you know Khalidah won't be on, but we're going to hear from Imam Dean Muhammad, and we will select now a presentation. Thank you for joining us. And if you can see my background, the background is actually a, let's see, I think that was 2024 at the Historic Coliseum in St. Petersburg, Florida, where invites anyone, interfaith, just the human family invited to a night during Ramadan to break fast with those who were fasting. All right, during the month of Ramadan again. And this is primarily by the Tampa Bay Area Muslim Association, along with other interfaith persons and community leaders. So I'll now let you see that background. It is really well attended every year since 2017, taking a breather during 2020 and 2021. And then, but we did an alternative iftar community activity, which meant that uh, served, did bags of groceries to families from a mutual church area in the local South St. Petersburg area. All right, and to Imam Dean Muhammad, sir, let's see, sharing. Today we're about the 27th of, let's see, I'm going to share my screen. The 27th of Muharram. Let's see. Sharing my screen here. Powerful signs. We can never hear enough of Imam Dean Muhammad, Rahimahullah. But I want to share the Adhan too, because we're approaching, well, we're still between Asr and Maghrib. Maghrib won't here in the South area, South United States, Southeast. It won't be coming time for Maghrib until 8. Well, why don't I show that? All right. One moment. Since I am in Atlanta, so let's see. Prayer time. One moment. Let's see. You can see right along with me here in Atlanta, Georgia. Fajr is at 5:24. Just indicating what sunrise time is. That's not necessarily a salat time. That's not time for salat. Door is 1:44. Asr is 5:28. And the next prayer isn't until 8:44. And then Isha is at 10:04. So in your area, I'm sure it's a different prayer time, especially up in New York. I think we're about 30 minutes difference up until Maghrib. I think Maghrib prayer in, let's just say New York. As you see in New York, New York, Fajr is at 4:12 a.m. Big difference, right? An hour and 12 minutes about. Sunrise is 5:45, but it's not till 6 something here in the South. Door is 103 when it's 144 here. So that's 41 minutes difference. And then Asr 4:59 when it's 5:20 something here. Maghrib still is about 30 minutes. Maghrib is 8:20 in New York and 8:44 here. So it is 24 minutes. Then Isha is 9:52, which that closes in the gap because it was 10:04 here. And that closes it into 12 minutes difference. But praise be to Allah. All right, so let's go to. And then we won't do it because it's like I say, um, this is Sheikh Abdul Basit, um, Abdul Samad Tauba, Sheikh Abdul Basit. Okay, we'll go to, like I say, to Imam Worthy Muhammad. And we said powerful signs.
Part of education that they
That's
do.
what we have seen.
One of my daughters, she's a school teacher, you know, and she's well, she was a school teacher, but anyway, certain things that you need is you got a school teacher. If you want to be a special ed, then you have a special
Let's see, where were we when we saw powerful signs? Let's go up here.
It's such a share this maybe a degree, yeah. So that's what you need. Now, whatever it is to make things better for the people. Whatever job you're in, the school board.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Martha.
We all got to do better.
Could you hear me? You're pretty low. Oh, that's because. Could you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Yes.
Oh, okay, good. You had a comment you wanted to make before we went to sharing?
No, I just want to know, do you have shared freedom space?
I believe so. Let's go to see there. Shared. Thank you for requesting.
You're welcome.
Shared freedom says you can see my screen, right?
No, I can see the background of the gathering that y'all had during Ramadan. I can see that background.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure I shared freedom space. Amen.
That was the lecture that Nam made 2 days before his transition.
Yes. There we go. Words make people. Courage. Just freedom, justice. Message to the people. And I don't know why it wouldn't say. Okay, Juma reminder, reflection, sharing a sign, repeating. So it depends on how someone uploaded it, but I'll put that in again. Spiritual material, justice and equality, 10th anniversary, Pentagon, past, present, documenting, preserving and separating religion from myth, New African American Genesis, creation, powerful signs, share your story, bring the symposium, Bilalian voices. Let me put it in again because I know it is here. Let me put it this way. Shared freedom space.
A new detective might see and say, hey, this piece of evidence, we can send this for DNA testing now that we have these advanced procedures.
So we started sprinkling all the cases one by one. Still coming justice. Let's see what this is.
So what is it going to give us from the sky? Perception. Perception. You students, please write that down. Perception. The clear
Huh?
So the nation is
In the hot. This
Let me get it off of general. Back here.
so the nation is on.
I don't see it as titled as that, Muhammad. I thought I had once before. Let me put in another word, maybe.
2003, Valerie McCorvey was found dead in an alleyway. She had been sexually assaulted violently.
Shared freedom. Let's see about that.
Valerie was a mom. She had struggled off and on with her.
If you can discipline yourself so that you don't allow influences to take you to the things that you know will bring you down, then you'll be successful in life. But if you can't discipline yourself,
Okay. Yeah, sharing. Okay.
in that way, you are sure to fail. Allah, God says of the success and failure, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّاهَا. He will certainly be successful who invests in his soul, who spends on his soul, his own soul. And here soul is talking about that same concept that I'm trying to bring to you, the concept of the person as a person pulled by influences and tendencies. And the one who fails to do that, God says, قَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, is certainly to fail. The one who neglects to invest in his own soul is certain to fail. For sure he will be a failure. If you can...
America is not just...
I insist that we don't let any Arab, Pakistani, Egyptian, I don't care.
The devil wants us to...
Tell me if you're feeling this way.
The Prophet ﷺ.
A lot of us fall deep.
Didn't anyone notice Zoran mom died?
Let me get back to me.
life as second-class citizens, or as put-down citizens. Maulana Maududi, perhaps the most popular of the recent reformers, scholars who reform, who bring Muslims back from deviations, who bring Muslims back from a dull life to have enthusiasm and drive. Reformer. Maulana Maududi said on Mount
Next, a speech by Wallace Muhammad. Recently, he spoke about being an Islamic citizen. This hour and 15-minute event was held by the Muslim American community of Boston.
I would first of all like to share with you something that the Imam asked me to make clear. One of the communications that went out to invite people here said that W.D. Muhammad honors Boston. And Imam wants me to let you know that he is honored by being here in your presence today. As all of us are when we get together with good people. So I would like to give you a few words of introduction, and bear with me because I tend to ramble on. My wife can tell you that. And so I want to be very precise here because I want to try to introduce you to what Imam is going to say today. In 1975, Minister Wallace D. Muhammad, upon the passing of his father, was elected to lead the Nation of Islam. He inherited a fledgling group that was functioning with what the noted scholar Dr. C.R. Lincoln called, quote, unquote, a proto-Islamic idea of religion, combining black nationalism and religion. During that time, the American media, using another appellation from Dr. Lincoln, referred to the group as black Muslims. Dr. Lincoln, in explaining why he used the description black Muslims, said that the group at that time was concerned with its blackness as a race, as an ethnic group, more than anything else. The young leader, Supreme Minister Wallace D. Muhammad, who was already known to envision a path for the Nation of Islam away from isolationism, showed vigor and boldness in the early days of his leadership of the community that his father had gallantly led since the 1930s. In what was essentially an inauguration address at Savior's Day 1975 in Chicago, a few short hours after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's death, he identified the Nation of Islam as a house and said that the winds of emotion would not shake or destroy it. Is that right? Soon thereafter, he opened up membership to any person from any ethnic group or any racial group who accepted the principles of classical Islam. That is, Islam as established by the Prophet Muhammad of Islam of over 1,400 years ago. Prayers and peace be upon him. In an historical address a short while later in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he challenged the members to, quote unquote, remake the world. I was among the capacity crowd that filled Madison Square Garden and the Felt Forum in New York City in 1976 when Chief Imam Wallace D. Muhammad said to those who would follow him, "You're going to have to get used to change and growth." Over 20 years, we are still changing and growing. The work and leadership of Imam Muhammad since 1975 has been characterized by a continuous movement to inculcate within his associates, the membership, the highest regard for God, and the essentials of Islamic life and identity as specifically outlined and established by the two most cherished and authentic sources for Islam, the Quran and the life example of the universal prophet Muhammad, the prayers and the peace be upon him. It is a well-known saying of Prophet Muhammad, may God be pleased with him, that the best Muslim, quote, the best Muslim is he who is best in society at large, unquote. Imam W.D. Muhammad has done much to engender that saying from the Prophet in the membership. Those in Imam Muhammad's association today include mayors of cities, state representatives, members of police departments, firemen, etc., etc. And as an example to you, we have with us today an esteemed brother from one of the most progressive cities in the United States, and he is city councilman in that city, and he is Councilman Nasif Majid. I told Councilman Nasif that I didn't mean to embarrass him, but I just wanted him to help me out a little bit. Imam W.D. Muhammad's leadership has always remained true, not to the details, but to the aim of his father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. May God grant him peace and forgive all his mistakes. And what was Elijah Muhammad's aim, essentially? It was the universal aim of man in society. That is, to have what God created man for, to have dignity at home, when he is alone with himself or his family. Dignity in the public, when he interacts with his neighbors and fellow citizens. Dignity before the government, dignity in the international world. To be honorable and respectful, to command respect wherever he is. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to tell us that he envisioned one day we would have, quote, friends in all walks of life. So, that was the substance and the aim of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's work for 40 years or so. And Imam W.D. Muhammad has been working over the last 20 plus years to accomplish the same thing. To restore the dignity, the created dignity, the inborn creator-given dignity of the devalued, degraded people. And over the years, he has even accepted to give attention to the deteriorated lot of many others who appear to be in the same condition. And so he is called today by many enlightened people the Muslim American spokesman for human salvation. The, quote, substance of his work has garnered respect in the U.S. Senate. You all know this, many of you, most of you. At the U.S. Pentagon, from Presidents Carter, Bush, and Clinton, he has stood as the first Muslim to address both houses of the Georgia legislature, the state of his father's birth. And he has been honored by the country of Egypt with his highest award for religious work, quote unquote, the gold medal of recognition. And, I might add, it was personally presented to him by Egypt's president, Hosni Mubarak. It was my pleasure to travel with Imam Muhammad and a small delegation of Muslims in his association to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia this past December as a guest of King Fahd bin Abdul-Azeez, the custodian of the two holy mosques. It was very obvious how much the leaders of Saudi Arabia respect Imam W.D. Muhammad and his work, for they introduced us over a 10-day period to the best people in their society. I've named just a few of Imam W.D. Muhammad's accomplishments as a leader of this community, representing once again the aim and substance that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad labored for: dignity at home, in the public, with the government, in the international world. And so, honorable audience, we want you to know, once again, that we appreciate your presence here with us today. Please join us in welcoming the Muslim American spokesman for human salvation, Imam W.D. Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum. Praise be to Allah, the Lord, Creator,
cherisher, the sustainer of all the worlds. We witness that he's one and has no partners or helper in the role of keeping the creation. And we witness that Muhammad, the prophet of the Quran and the prophet of Islam, the prophet of the Muslims, and a mercy to all the world, that prophet Muhammad, born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, what is now Saudi Arabia, about 1400 and some years ago, is the seal of the prophets, the last of the prophets, God's messenger and his servant, and we salute him with the salute of peace and the prayers be upon him. Ameen. And upon us be peace. Ameen. We are honored, and I say we, because I represent something more than myself. If I represented only myself, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be known by any of you. And we have been honored here in this little brief time that I've been present here in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and Boston. We have been honored here by our very distinguished and honorable elected officials, your elected officials. I say our because I identify with you. And we are very grateful to them and to this city for the respect that have been given us, shown to us on this occasion. And we hope that we can serve in an excellent way our cause, which also includes the welfare, the good life and good future of mankind everywhere, in this city of Boston and everywhere. I would like to, before addressing the language in this subject that we have, excuse me, how to live with self, with family, with neighbors, and with another race, I would like to address the Strand Theater. This theater reminds me of a theater in Chicago where I was raised up from a little boy, from a baby really. My mother brought me to Chicago when I was only 11 months old. And that theater's name is the Regal Theater, the Regal Theater. And the purpose of that theater is the same as the purpose of this theater, the Strand Theater. We lost that theater because of bad times in Chicago, financially bad times for African-American people, and for our African-American neighborhoods. The theater ran down. We lost that theater. But because there was a person who valued that theater and a businessman, African-American businessman, on the South Side, in the area, right on the South Side where that theater is, because of his caring about that history, the theater was open again, and in a much bigger and beautiful structure on the South Side. Mr. Joe Gardner, who has his cosmetics products, hair preparation products, and some other businesses, properties and businesses. He used his money, and he got other support, and now the Regal Theater is open. So we have 3 theaters now that I know of that have long history, and they are open now, and they are back on the job of keeping the good life, the traditional life, and values of the African-American people, the Strand, the Apollo, and the Regal Theater. There are a few others, and I'm going to make it my business to get acquainted with all of them, because I feel that this history is very important to us. And believe me, I know the people who are behind these theaters, our African-American supporters, like Percy Sutton, who is behind the Apollo Theater. He and his family, with his support, he and his family, they reopened the Apollo Theater in New York. And I know that all of these people behind these theaters, they are not only interested in us singing and dancing, but they're interested in us keeping a good moral life, having faith in God, and having a ethnic or racial culture or identity of our own. They want us to keep our folkways that are good and excellent, and they want us to leave those habits that are bad and degrading. They want us to not forget the good training we got from our excellent fathers and mothers and grandparents in the South and in the North. And they want us to not forget the excellent contributions to our behavior at home, our behavior in the public, our behavior in entertainment that has been affected by such men as Marcus Garvey, and before him, Frederick Douglass, also the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and many others have made contribution to our improved behavior at home, in the streets, and in entertainment. They have also helped shape our taste and refine our taste for clothing, and our taste for food, and our taste for entertainment. And we want to preserve that. And we have such men who will dedicate who will sacrifice some of their wealth to preserve these theaters, these institutions, for us, that we will know ourselves and live better and better and grow better and better into better and better spiritual and cultural form. So we salute them today too on this visit to Boston. Percy Sutton, Mr. Percy Sutton, and Mr. Joe Gardner in Chicago, and to the persons who, I'm not acquainted with them, the persons who are responsible for the Strand Theater being open and functioning in this city. I would like to share with you some thoughts I have on, well, a concept, a tree. I've noticed as a young boy that cats would chase birds and sometimes climb up a tree to try to get a bird. And also dogs would chase cats, and sometimes the cat would run up the tree. And the tree is a mercy to the animals, especially to the weak animals. And that's what we need. We need something that's a mercy to the weak, for the weak. The big cat couldn't go out on the little limb that the bird was on. I saw a bird just wait on the cat. It's like, you think you can come out? I guess the cat thought he was gonna fly away. The bird just sat there and wait on him. And he tried to come out there and he hit one of those little thin, little light branches like a switch, and down he fell for a long drop. It wouldn't support him, you know. And I saw once a dog chase a cat, and the cat ran up the tree, and I said to myself, now he's already out of reach of that dog. That dog can't climb a tree. But that cat looked like he said, he was so afraid of that dog, like he said, I better get out here where I know he can't manage. The cat went out on a small limb that could only support about the weight of a cat. He knew that if that dog got up there, he couldn't be supported on those small branches that he was supported on. And to me, that's the way Islam is. That's the way religion is. If it is really interested in bettering the life of people, religion is like that. It provides for the weak a refuge from the strong. It provides for the weak a refuge from the strong. You can run to something that if they get on it, it won't support them. Now, you know, if a person is materialistic and all they want is this material world, If you run out on the branch of human kindness, if they come out there to get you, they're going to drop. And their fall may be very, 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 very long. Very long fall. So God has given us a religion. If we live it and practice it, it will protect us from the strong. You don't have to worry. It will protect us from the strong. We have God as our protector, but we also have our faith as our protection. And if we live this religion, have faith, keep the faith and live it, that is a protection for us. The strong can't get us. I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was teaching, saying things that were really very disturbing in this world, or to this world. But because of the good behavior we had, and the good loving hearts and minds we had, we were protected. We didn't suffer. We weren't afraid of anybody. We weren't fearing that the Klan was going to come, or the police was going to come and storm the place, storm the doors, break in and kill us. We weren't afraid of that. We didn't live with fear. We lived with faith. And we were beautiful in our hearts and beautiful in our spirit and mind. So God's protection was on us. And since the passing of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have been trying to learn better. What is this religion, Islam? From this, as the Imam, the earliest speaker said here, not speaker, but the Imam said here, Imam Talib, I believe it was he who said that this religion wants us to live the best, be the best, and that's exactly what Islam wants us to be, the best. So when we come into Islam and its best references, fewest references, first number one reference is Quran. And then the lifestyle of Muhammad himself, how Muhammad the Prophet lived this religion. With those references and with a religion motivating us always, moving us always to be the best, we can be very successful in this world. And we have been very successful, following the direction that we find in the Quran and in the life of Muhammad the Prophet. And we have now come into, I would say, a renewed spirit, a renewed spirit. We were drooping for a while, beaten down by disappointments. But look like we have outlived that troubled period of time. And now I see a renewed spirit on this community, in this community. And it tells me that we are on the way to progress again. Not to any small progress, the dreams of a poor individual, but to big progress, the dreams of visionaries who envision the future for communities and nations and the whole of humanity on this earth. We're on our way in the road of progress. Progress for our community life. This is really a good time for us. God Most High, highly glorified is He says to us in our religion, and follow the best thereof, and follow the best thereof. This is a religion that puts emphasis on excellence. Excellence. It wants us to strive for excellence in everything that we do, and follow the best thereof. So if you're given a book, and the book asks you to do a number of things, or give you a number of guidelines for a better life, don't look for the weakest things to follow. Look for the strongest things to follow. Look for the strongest points. And make sure that you don't neglect those strong points. And try to live those strong points. That way, your life will be a strong life, and your life will be a life of excellence. And follow the best thereof. Muhammad the Prophet has also told us of God. He says that God has prescribed or inscribed in the nature or in the natural makeup of everything excellence, excellence. Therefore, if we understand this saying of the prophet, we believe that I am born for excellence. God has created me for excellence. If he has inscribed that upon my very nature, upon the very makeup that he made himself, that's me, if he has inscribed it upon it, then that means it's there before I'm aware of it. It's there before I'm conscious of it. It's a part of me. It is me. It's my life. Excellence. Isn't it wonderful? But the prophet didn't say that God did this just for people. He said for everything. So what does this tell us? This tells us that everything that God made was made, it was made to grow and progress or evolve into more and more excellence. And when we hear of the theory of evolution in our schools, high schools and colleges and universities, when we hear the theory of evolution, we as Muslims, we should want to relate that to the guidance on evolution that we have in our religion called the Quran and the teachings of the last prophet Muhammad. We should want to relate it to that, because here is the secular world telling us that everything, man, animal, even the material world, has undergone or is undergoing evolution. So this man that I'm talking about,
occasion when we are continuing the tradition of living history at Duke, history
that too, that the guidance on evolution that we have in our religion called the Quran and the teachings of the last prophet Muhammad. We should want to relate it to that, because here is the secular world telling us that everything, man, animal, even the material world, has undergone or is undergoing evolution or underwent an evolution and evolving. It starts out crude and small, and as it grows and lives and it grows, it grows out of its crudeness and out of its smallness. That all life was once one cell, and from one cell it became many cells, and finally into a complex creature like we are, the human being, this human structure, this human anatomy, this human biology that we have, grew from one simple cell to this complicated, very fine machine that no other machine can match, the living human machine. Grew to be that. And is that against the Quran? God says that he created you from a small clot, from an alaq. And some of the scholars who interpret this, they say this alaq is a small living thing, like a little small fish-like thing, a swimming thing. They say this alaq is really the life germ. The life germ. It's the life germ itself that evolves from the simple little thing, creature, that can't be seen by the naked eye, into what you are and what I am. Grown-up human being. Everything is in the state of evolution, undergoes the stages of evolution until it evolves to where God intended for it to go or to be. This is secular world science, but this is also religious knowledge from the Quran and from other religions if we understand it. So if we are evolving, then we should always agree with that is promising us a better life and more progress. Because that is our destiny. That is our destiny. That is where God wants us to go. If God is evolving us, then God wants us to always accept to be a little better, to grow a little more, to progress a little further. That he prescribed or inscribed excellence for everything. And what does God say of the community? He says to us Muslims, you are the best of the communities evolved for all people. You are the best of the communities evolved for all people. Think about what is said here. God says we are the best, that we are the best of the communities evolved for all people. This tells us that there are also other communities evolved for all people. This new nation we call the United States of America, it is a new society among the societies of the world. And we who know something about its history, how it was conceived by its founding fathers, we can agree that this is a society or a community evolved for all people. It admits citizens from all parts of the world. And once those citizens become citizens, they are given the same treatment under the law that all other citizens are given. So this is a country conceived for all people. It was conceived to accommodate all people, people seeking freedom, freedom from oppression, people seeking an opportunity to live a better life, to have more progress for themselves, not only as individuals, but as communities. The Irish came here because they wanted a better life for Irish, the Polish, the Jews, the Spanish, the Spaniards, the French, all of them except us. We were brought over here for a worse future. But because of the nature of this idea called Americanism, or, well, more correctly put, democracy, because of this idea, we too have benefited in this country. And though they brought us here for a worse future, we have a better future now. I know you will say it's because of Islam and Allah, yes, but also because of this idea that it invites all people to come who are denied and persecuted and denied their life they want in other places to come here. It's because of this idea too. And we have to thank Allah for that. So we are people who should believe that we are created to progress. We are created to not to stand still, but to progress. We are created not to stay on the same level, but to graduate to higher levels. We are created not to have small things and be satisfied with small things, but to be motivated to have bigger things and better things. This is what we have to believe, just from this one statement. God says he has inscribed excellence for everything. And he also says of the community, we are the best community evolved for the good of all people. What Islam gives us to situate us for the good life and progress is ideas that are powerful. You accept those ideas, you don't have to be a scholar, but if you just accept the idea, if you just believe that God intended this for you, you're going to be better situated spiritually to accomplish more in your life. Just being told this. We weren't no great minds. But Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he too was no great mind. Not formally. He didn't have any education. He was almost illiterate. Only 3 years elementary school education from Georgia. And you know what that 3 years was back there when he was a boy. Nothing to give any notice to. But he was motivated. He wasn't a scholar, he wasn't a great mind, he didn't have education. But when he was told, you are the best, the righteous, the powerful, he believed it because he thought God was saying that to him. He believed it. And just believing it put him in a better spirit, to have a better life, to have a better future, to make progress for himself and for others. So don't underestimate the Word of God. It's powerful message. It's potent force. When it comes into your head and into your heart and into your mind, you don't have to be a scholar. I don't think you have to digest it as a scholar digests it. All you have to do is accept it as an ignorant person accepts it, who believes in God and trusts God. And it will start to work on your life. It'll start to work on your mind and on your spirit. It'll start to work in your soul as yeast in bread. It'll start to rise you up and make you better. Praise be to Allah. So what Islam gives us situates us better to have a good life and to have progress. How does Islam prepare us for global progress? Oh, the globe is too big. I haven't learned how to live and manage my own apartment. Yes, Brother Imam. Well, let me tell you something. If you get your mind made up to try to live, to have yourself respected on this earth, in the community of men, on this whole globe, I guarantee you that power, that potent force in your head and in your soul and in your spirit, it will grow you up. It grow you too big for your apartment. After a while, you'll be too big for your house. You'll be too big for your block. You'll be so big until we'll see you out here representing Boston. Don't think small. Don't think small. Always think big. And if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a magic, if he had a miracle, that was his miracle. Talking big talk and getting big results from small people. Now Allah wants us to know something about our relationships with each other. Allah wants us to know how the value of our relationship with our mate. Man with his mate. Woman with her mate, the man. Allah wants us to know the value of that relationship. That relationship wasn't created for us just to have sexual pleasures. That's beneath most animals. Most animals are also social animals. They're not just sexual animals. They're also social animals. They don't have sex just for each other. They have sex for their children, to have babies. And they realize that once they have babies, then they have to stop putting so much of their investments in just sex. They have to start putting some investments in the future of their children. This is the teachings of God to us in our great religions, in the Quran and in other books, if we understand it. So God wants us to know more about the value of these relationships, so that we don't think of sex as intelligent people. We don't think of sex just on a sexual level. We think of sex as the foundation, the beginning of something good, something big, something great, and that's the family and society of man. When you look at a flower, as a student of botany or studying the flowers, you look at that flower and you see it open up. You know it's sex organs. You can look right at its sex organs. They're exposed. But they don't suggest any indecency. They're so beautiful. Here God has given us a sign that I want you to see sex, your sex, like you see a flower. It's a beautiful thing. It should make a contribution to society. The bees go to the flower and they help mix the pollen so that there be germination, growth and multiplying of the flowers, and the flowers yield something to the bees, and the bees take it and make honey. The bears like it, and we like it. And its message its message to our intellect and to our social interest is much bigger than its value in just sweet honey. Yes. God wants us to see sex in its social role, not just in its physical role. Then we can have more respect for our families. We can have better families. We can have more respect for our relationships, man to woman, woman to man, and have better relationships, better marriages, better families. But this world drums up lust and makes sex funky. Yeah. So you have to fight that. That's Satan's influence. That's the influence of Satan. Want to destroy the social role of sex. So your family is brought down, your neighborhood is brought down, your society is brought down, and all of you living but nothing but for really monstrous pleasures. Yes. Some of the great artists who do satires on the society, they write they picture the whole society as nothing but a society of animals, monsters. Yes, because that's how they interpret it. That these people have fallen from the great platform of human excellence. They're falling from that, and they're falling to a life that is beneath any normal creature. So their lives now, the lives of monsters. They're living the lives of monsters. We don't want that. We want to live the life that God intended for us, the life of human beings. Now, a man has to also understand the relationship for him with his possessions. Most people can't manage the relationship with their possessions. They will get a new job, a good job, they'll get much more income, and they will have much more material things in their lives, nice cars, nice home, plush furnishing and everything. They will have all that, rich environment in the home, but they can't manage the relationship. They can't manage the relationship. For everything, there's a relationship. Science says this and religion says this. For everything, there's a relationship. And you are not going to be left alone and unaffected by that relationship. If you're making $200 a week now, when you start to make $2,000 a week, if you had a problem in your relationship with 200, you're going to have 10 times that problem when you have 2,000. The problem going to be multiplied, intensified, at least 10 times. You see? So for everything, there's a relationship. And there's one relationship that if you accept it, and then reveal guidance from that, that's God. Your relationship with God, if you accept that relationship and honor that relationship, regard that relationship as you should regard it, and follow the guidance that God has revealed, that relationship will protect you from all other relationships. That's what religion does for us. It gives us a protection for all relationships, whether it's with myself, because I have to have a relationship with myself. Some people, you can leave them alone by themselves, and their self will kill them in about 2 days. Yeah. You have to be able to manage a relationship with yourself, and a relationship with your wife, and with your husband, or with your husband's sister, and with your children, and with the neighbors, and everybody. You have to manage these relationships. And in Islam, we are told that the first conquest and the greatest conquest should be the conquering of your own self. You have to conquer your own self, to tame your own self, civilize your own self, refine your own self, command respect from your own self, so that your own self live the honorable life that God intended you to live. Then you walk in pride, you walk with dignity, you walk with a sense of great accomplishment. The hell, I manage my own self. Ask them. Then you won't feel the pressure of racism in the air. The hell, Ain't no white man managing me. Ain't no combination of white nations managing me. I'm managing my own self. God says, we have certainly, God speaking, saying, we have certainly made honorable. That means made noble. Noble, N-O-B-L-E. Honorable. You know, it's the English that claim nobility more than any other nation. The Englishman claims nobility. He claims it and he hates everybody else that don't understand it. The Irish didn't catch on to that nobility. He put some hurting on the Irish. The Scots looked like they couldn't catch on to that idea of nobility. He put some hurting on the Scots, on the people of Scotland. Yeah, he put some hurting on them. Now, you look like a white man, but something's wrong with you. I'm going to have to beat you until you learn what this nobility is all about. God says he's certainly made honorable, made noble, every child of Adam. I don't care how white you are, how black you are. According to the language of the scriptures, Quran, Judaic Bible, and also the Quran, Bible, Quran, and the Judaic, the Torah, all of them say the same thing. According to those scriptures, no matter how white you are, how black you are, you're a child of Adam. And God says he made honorable, noble, every, kulli. You speak some Arabic? Kulli means every. Each and every, kulli. Bani, child, descendant. Adam, of Adam. Qad karamna, qad, certainly indeed. Karamna, we made noble and honorable. Kulli bani, every descendant, Adam of Adam. Now, if you let that statement enter your head and you believe it, it's going to enter your heart. It's going to enter your soul. It's going to enter your spirit. It's going to affect your spirit. And you're going to start growing out of your inferiority. Because God said he made you noble. And noble men qualify for all positions in a society. Is that right? That's their history. See, that's not our language. We didn't make nobles and lords. They did. So if you accept that, then you must then walk with pride, not with shame on you. Walk with pride. Say, God, maybe I don't have the education, maybe I don't have the skills, but God created me to be president of the United States of America, to be the president of this bank, to be in charge of trade or commerce. You have to believe that. We have African American men and women now in this country moving up into these very special positions that we thought we would never get into. The Doubting Thomases, they said, no, white man will never let you get there. But those who believed in their own inherent nobility, they said, the white man doesn't have to let me, I'll get there on my own. Now, we are shown one man so that we will believe in what God has given us. Because God hasn't given any man something that he didn't give every man. Not in his natural creation. In our natural creation, God gave us all the same. But it's the mercy of God that gives some of us better situations than others. better circumstances than others, better opportunities than others. So because of that, in time, we are more qualified than others that did not get these favored situations or favored circumstances or opportunities, right? Yes, we know that these differences exist, and we understand them. But we come right back to what is given by God to us in Scripture. That is that when He created us khalaqa fasawwa. He created us and He made us all equal in our creation. That means whatever any other man was given to work with or to live by or upon for his future, He gave it to every other man. Didn't give one race something that He didn't give the other race. Gave all the races the same. And that's what the Quran is addressing when it says, our holy book is addressing, when it says, He certainly made honorable and noble every descendant of Adam. We come to the idea now in Islam that's called Tawheed. And Tawheed comes from a word meaning one. That's just one, O-N-E, one. And Tawheed can be translated maybe literally oneness. Oneness, oneness. What it really says is this, that God is one. And upon that fact, or that reality, we must reason then that God's creation is one. That is, that the creation must have a unity. The creation must have a law that's throughout, that runs throughout that whole creation. The creation must not be foreign to itself and without being also akin to itself. And that its unity is stronger than its diversity. Its oneness is more powerful than its diversity. We are many and diversified as living things are. Animals and plants and all things are many and diversified. We are many and diversified. But the unity, the sameness, the commonality, the sameness is stronger than the differences. It is not our color that holds us together. It's our humanity that holds us together. We are not held together even as a family at home by the colors. If that was the case, then we'd have to carefully select the color of the husband or the color of the wife. See, I want my family to stay together, so I better make sure she's exactly my shade. Because differences in color is going to break up my family. That's not the case. It's the humanity. It's the same human life that we share with each other. I have the same human life that you have, sister. You have the same human life that I have, sister. And that's what God means when He says that He made male and female of one. He made us of one. And He made us two of the one thing. Of the one person, He made us two. From our one humanity, He made us male humanity and female humanity. And then He spread from those two many men and women, nations and tribes all over the world. This is what God teaches us. So we are the same. That's why husband and wife can sit down and talk to each other and resolve their problem as long as they respect each other as equals. The man say, but I have a superiority over her. Yes, you do. And God tells you what that superiority is. It's in your muscles and in your wealth and in your money. Now, if you ain't got either one of them, brother, you out of it. But as far as your soul, God made her soul and your soul the same. She's a human soul and you're a human soul. And her human soul evolves into a humanity, and yours evolve into a humanity. And your humanity is not superior to her humanity. And her humanity is not superior to your humanity. This is reason from the concept or the idea of Tawheed. So this idea tells us that the creation is one, that this material universe of many planets, stars and planets and moon, everything, satellites, all this stuff out there in space, this vast universe of so many material bodies in space, when you look at them, you can see a unity. So Allah said, look at it. Can't you see that it was joined together once? Though it appears separated from you now, earth and sky. And it took science, astronomy, to show us that earth and sky are united. Man used to think that earth was the center of the universe. This was like a platform that he was sitting on, and all the other stuff was nothing but lights in his ceiling. But with knowledge, with science, he come to know that he ain't nothing but a light in the ceiling too. That the earth itself ain't nothing but a light in the ceiling, and a small one at that. So he came to believe that this material world or universe is one system. And that's said in the term or the expression, universe. Uni meaning one, verse meaning verse. One verse. Though it has many verses, we can perceive it in its totality as a universe. Isn't that wonderful? As one single verse. And I guess that one single verse would be its universal law that holds it all together. As a universal law holding all this material creation together and having it operate in a way that makes it serve life and man, or mankind. This Tawheed, it goes on to say that though we are of different nationalities or races, we are one people. That all of us are brothers and sisters. Now I know this sounds churchy to you Muslims. But it's the truth. When we say Islamic brotherhood, we're saying the same thing that Christians say when they say brotherhood. Islamic brotherhood, what is it supported by? Islamic brotherhood is supported by the belief that God made the first parents, and all the people on earth are children of the first parents. So they are created brothers and sisters. So the Muslim want to go back to that idea. He wants to accept the brother, the person, no matter what skin color they got, or what nationality they have, he wants to accept them as his brother in one family of Muslims. So that's the brotherhood of Islam. It's established upon the brotherhood of man. The belief that man is a brotherhood. All people form one brotherhood. We are brothers and sisters of each other. Not in the flesh anymore, because the flesh has multiplied and families have been formed that are closer to each other in their physiology, in skin color, in other things, in description, these physical descriptions, and also spiritual descriptions. We become different, right? So it is not that we are brothers and sisters in that, but God made you from one single human design. One single human pattern. So you know something about patterns. God made you from one single human pattern. And you're mixing and going to different parts of the world and taking on the environmental influences and being formed by those influences into different features and different people have not made you different in terms of your human pattern. So you are still the children of Adam. You are still the children of the original pattern. And in that you are spiritual, soul-wise brothers and sisters. Right? Yes, this is the common idea. Now, how is this going to help us to live with ourselves and to live with our neighbors and to live with another race? How is this going to help us? Don't think about it. Don't think about it. You don't have to think about it. Just let it enter you and accept it. It does its own work. It does its own work. Once it goes in you, it's a potent force. It's a potent germ. It's a potent life force. Once it goes into you, it starts to reshape you if you shape wrong. You don't have to think about it. Just accepting what you're being told now from the scripture is going to begin to influence the shaping of your mind, the shaping of your feelings, your thoughts, and everything. It's going to make you conform to that idea that you have accepted. And if you accept the idea of Tawheed, it's going to make you conform to the idea of Tawheed. It is going to prepare you to live with yourself, with your family, with your neighbors, and with another race, and make success on this earth. Doesn't mean everybody's going to be beautiful. It just means some people are going to be in good shape, and others will not be in good shape. The ones in good shape, they will be able to manage their lives and make a contribution to the betterment of the whole society. They'll be able to go out front. They'll be able to do charity with a kind word and ignore the ignorance of the savage who's backwards and retarded socially, and he still carries the idea of a superior race in him. You'll look at him and see him as nothing but a little small creature that came out from under the stone in the daylight and ran back under the stone because the daylight was too bright for him. And you'll pity him and you'll want to help shade him until he can mature socially and come out from under the stone into the light. Now, I'm not saying I'm a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not. I believe in cracking his head with a club or with a bat or something when he's trying to do harm to other people. But if we don't kill him, I believe in getting. If we don't kill him, I believe in getting him some medical help, put him back in good shape, and then put some more shade on him and work on him until he can gradually come out into the sun. Now, I know this city has been marked. We read about it in Chicago, Boston. City with more higher institution of higher learning than any other city in the United States, but got a race problem. Well, I hope you can give this to the press. Deputy Dean Muhammad, Wallace D. Muhammad, said at the Strand Theater today, Boston has no race problem. Boston has a mind problem. And that mind problem is not only in the whites, but it's also in the black. So if you get the problem out of your mind and they get the problem out of their mind, you see it ain't no race problem. It's just two retarded social groups. See, something is wrong with us when we have to charge everything that a another race does to us as racism. Something is wrong, something missing up here. Now you go home and you complain to each other. Say, look, I didn't tell you could wear my shoes. What you doing wearing my shoes? Or why you slept in my bed and didn't make it up? I didn't tell you to sleep in my bed. Now you can't sleep in my bed. White man tell you can't sleep in his bed, he's a racist. We have to stop blaming everything on racism. Start listening to these new scholars on the campuses. Listen to these new African-American thinkers on these campuses who are telling us that we just gone too far with these ideas of the past. We need to rethink them and come up with more logic in order to deal with the problems of the future. It's a new thinking now. We have to embrace that new thinking. We have to be more rational now and less emotional. More rational and less impulsive. To survive in the world to come. The world to come is the world that the Quran prepares us for more than any other book. The Quran prepares us for the coming world more than any other book. And it should, because it's the latest of the books. We believe in the evolution of the messianic figure, the messianic person. We believe in the evolution of that messianic person. Starts with the first man, Adam. He's a messianic figure. And it ends with Muhammad, the last prophet. He brings us to the idea of the global community, that man is one community. كان الناس أمة واحدة. That the man, all people are one community. You have to prepare yourself to live on this earth as one community of man. Huh? So you respect each other. So you learn to live with each other and cooperate with each other, as Allah tells us in the Quran, and cooperate with each other. Support each other. Upon what? Righteousness and regardfulness. And deny each other your cooperation or your support when it's upon what? Sin and bigotry. It's sin and bigotry. So the Quran is telling us to deny another Muslim or anybody our support if they're asking them to support them on some racist idea. If they're advocating hatred for another group of people, we are not to give them our support. We are to deny them our support. Now, I think Farrakhan is a strategist. I think Minister Farrakhan is a strategist. I think he's a great game worker. And who knows, maybe Allah has him here for that purpose. Maybe we're getting a lot of benefits from his strategy and his game working. But I know I'm not going to support him when he stands upon racism, when he asks me to come and join him upon some racist idea. That one race is superior to another, or that one race is the friend and another race is the enemy. We've always had some white friends among the people. Yeah, even during slavery, we had some white friends. Never was a time when they all were our enemies. A lot of them died to get us in a better situation. Now, I know it was just a very few. Very, 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 very few. But we had some way back there. I can say we made a whole lot of progress. Well, I can count about 4 or 5 right now that I know that's my friend. White folks. In fact, I grew up to 10 already. If I keep counting, I might come up with about 25 white folks that I know are my friends. Now, you know, if we judge like God judged, God in the Bible tells a prophet that wanted to see the town destroyed, if you can find one good man there, I'll save the town. Why? Because if there's one good man there, there's proof that there can be many good men there if you change the conditions. So if there was only one good white man during our enslavement, that was proof that if we work on it, we could change the condition and there could be more good white men. And that's exactly what happened. History and experience proved that to us, that there were not just a few, there were many good white women, men and women. They just had to be worked on for a while. I'm going to conclude this by saying that Muslims should start always with self. And you should try to do as much as you can to keep yourself in good shape, in good order, in good condition. Then you should go to the thing that you're responsible for. If it ain't a child, if you got an apartment, you're responsible for that apartment. Try to put that apartment in good condition. If it's a vehicle, try to keep that vehicle in good condition. Because Allah, your God, going to judge you by your treatment of the things in your responsibility. Not just human beings, children, but also material possessions. Start with yourself first. And then move out of the individual self to see yourself as a member of a society, sharing a part of the responsibility for that society. And try to live up to your responsibility as a member with a share of the responsibility for that society. For that society to be your family, your neighborhood, or the city you live in, or the world you live in. Try to grow up to that. And as a Muslim, know that your job, your main job, is to support the growth of Muslim community. The growth of Muslim community is much more than a little storefront to have meetings in, or to do prayers in a Jumu'ah prayer. It's much more than that. The obligation of a community is as big as what you see when you look at Boston. You should be striving to grow up your community so that your community is recognized as being responsible for housing, for neighborhoods, for businesses, for political life in that area. And you should be tied into the government, the local government and the federal government. You should be tied into that. You should have people representing you, tied into the local and federal government, because you are part of the whole nation. And you should be in competition with the other people who are tied into the local and federal government, the local and federal governments. You should be in competition with them. You should feel that God has prepared you to be not less than anybody else. But you shouldn't be looking at the world saying this is a white man's world. You should be looking at the world and saying this is God's world. The earth belongs to Allah. Allah says that in the Quran. And Allah says the earth is my mosque. The earth is my mosque. That's what God says in the Quran. The earth is my masjid. See, some of you all have forgotten English. You don't know what mosque is anymore. So I have to say masjid. Yes, God says the earth is my masjid, my mosque, my house of worship, the whole earth. Are you a Muslim? Is China on this earth? China says, God says China is my mom, my masjid. So if I get the means, the wherewithal, to do more than represent Islam in America, to represent it also in China, I should go there with no second thought. I shouldn't be thinking, oh, I can't do nothing in China. God says China is his mosque. God says England is his mosque. Huh? Paris is his mosque. France is his, all these places, his mosque. God says Ghana is his mosque. Huh? Nigeria is his mosque. Now, shouldn't you feel bad knowing that you came from over there and his mosque is in bad shape? Yes, let us work to have community establishment. And community establishment, as God wants us to have it, means providing everything that a community requires. That's what it means. You don't have to have a separate government to have that. Other ethnic groups, they've been doing it all the time. You go to the Irish quarters of Chicago, you find the Irish running the government, local governments. You find the Irish running the banks, the business, they're running everything. And they tied into all the other governments so that they are not left out or shortchanged, so that they cooperate for the benefit of the whole, so they don't hurt the whole. They stay in tune with what is happening, so that what they're doing is not affecting any other part of the United States in a bad way. We have to have sensible, responsible people with big minds like that to rise up in this community and take on more responsibility. Thank you very much. May God guide us to the truth, have mercy on us always. Ameen. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Takbir! 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 Brothers and sisters, all praise is due to Allah. We're going to ask you to please remain in your seats and please allow the Imam and the party time enough to leave. We've been well satisfied this evening. We thank Allah for that beautiful address. And in the meantime, we're going to ask you to help show your support for what Imam Muhammad has brought us. But we're going to ask the brothers and sisters with the buckets to please come by in order to help us defray some of the costs and expenses for bringing the Imam here. So I thank Allah for all of you for coming great distances, and I'm sure the time that you spent coming here is going to be rewarded. I know you have plenty to go back to your respective mosques and areas and benefit. What we got here was a charge for taking the word, what Imam Muhammad has given us, and put it to work in our respective communities. If we do that, by the time Imam comes here for the next address, you're going to see greater and greater and greater progress. So again, I don't see the brothers and sisters with the buckets, but if you're there, please give a donation, because it was a very costly program to put on by relatively few people. We want to thank the Dawah Committee. We want to thank you. And we pray Allah that you have a successful return home.
If there's a public affairs event in your area you think we should cover, call the C-SPAN events line. Our telephone number is area code 202-626-7963. You can also fax us at 202-737-6226 or contact us by email. Your message should include as much information about the event as possible. We'd also appreciate the name and phone number of a contact person.
Get C-SPAN schedule information 24 hours a day by calling our schedule hotline at area code 202-628-2205. Our program schedules are also available online. You'll find information on America Online, the Internet, and the World Wide Web. You can watch for schedule information. At 15 and 45 minutes past each hour, check the bottom of your screen for updates. Also, several times each day, listings of programs coming.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Kareem Hamid. I have noticed that Sister Khalidah is no longer connected. She became disconnected from the Zoom meeting. I'm not sure if she will call back in. She has about 12 minutes left of broadcast time. So inshallah, I hope she can connect back with us. A wonderful presentation delivered by our Imam Wali Muhammad. Halal. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Wonderful message. Beautiful message. And it is appropriate. It is appropriate for all time. Okay, I don't see Sister Khalidah. Sister Amira, I noticed you had your hand raised earlier. Is there any statements you would like to make?
Assalamu alaikum. Oh, I so enjoyed that program. When I first got on, I could see the title, but then later on, I just saw what the title was, Islamic Life in America. So I think I can pull that up on the YouTube and rehear that again.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, and I'm quite sure that the commemoration of the 50 years of Imam Wali Muhammad's leadership shall be successful. Yes, inshallah. Praise be to Allah. He really brought us a long way, a long way. Yeah.
So much to be appreciated.
You know, when we realized the state of mind the majority of us were in, it's a miracle. For me, it's a miracle, the transformation. We still believed in a mothership.
Mm-hmm.
We would go out.
Can you imagine coming from that way of thinking as a child? Because I came in when I was 6 years old, and our parents came in. So can you imagine a young child that type of language being your foundation? At some point it was hard to really break away from that, but it's Allah bless Imam Muhammad with his taksirs, we were able to break that barrier, the language barrier.
Sister Mary, if I must if I can, uh, it was Almighty God. God makes Muslims.
Yes, sir.
Imam Muhammad introduced us to Islam proper, but it is Allah that makes Muslims. You know, the Imam introduced Islam, but the decision was up to every individual and their God.
Mhm.
And Almighty God saw fit that He would make some more Muslims, the real Muslims, and He chose us.
I totally agree with what I was saying. You know, a lot of times when you're a child, that foundation, that language foundation is kind of what you with. And I'm just saying, I'm thankful to Allah that as I grew up, I was able to make the distinctions, you know, and the more I listened to Imam Muhammad. But when he first came in, we used to sit on the floor for so many hours, sometime until the morning.
I remember 8-hour lectures on the first Sundays of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, he used the word duly proportion. That's what Allah was doing. That is what he was doing. He was duly
Yeah.
proportion. And he said, God came to put men into empty vessels, and I found a lot of them in the house of Elijah. And if I didn't understand what he meant, because I felt like we had it all, you know, we had it all. We were empty vessels at that time. That's what I'm saying. But then as time went on, I began to understand what he was saying. You know.
Yes. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he stated what his purpose was. It was to clean you up and empty you out. And he was successful at doing that. Yes. He was successful at emptying us out of the pollution that we had been educated in and consumed in. A sense of inferiority, a sense of superiority in another race, how we disrespected one another, our behavior. He did a masterful job. He truly cleaned us up and truly gave us a pattern of behavior that really, it drew respect from all around the world. How mannerable we were, how clean we were. For real, I mean, you know, and he was successful at doing that. And that prepared that vessel that was emptied out for some new water to be poured into the vessel. And Imam Muhammad skillfully, gradually began to pour the water into the vessel. Yes, ma'am.
Thank Allah we still around. Allah bless us, you know, still being the land of the living, that we can continue his work. And he said, give him a good future. So,
that's right. That's right. Praise be to Allah. So I'm really looking forward to hear. I can't go to the memorial, unfortunately, but I'm quite sure I will.
Same here. I'm sitting here thinking, what way would be possible? Because a couple of friends that here in Chicago, we used to kind of ride together. We'd drive down, and everybody was just so eager when we first, you know, heard that they was going to put this platform on. And then slowly people began to drop off, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know. So now, it's the point where we won't be going, unfortunately.
Yeah, inshallah, we just hope for the success. It's not the number of people. It's not the quantity. It's the quality of people.
It's true. Well, if people wanted to be in that number, brother.
I know. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, for real, it has its advantages when we all meet. You know, it truly strengthens us and everything. We learn so much from each other. That's wonderful. Praise be to Allah. But those of us that can't go, we'll continue the study that we are, we'll continue to study and celebrate where we are now, celebrate our maturation, how we have matured into rational, intelligent human beings. Yes, ma'am, no doubt about that. So praise be to Almighty God. That's God's work. That is Allah's work. I hope we understand that Imam Wali Muhammad was a tool, an instrument of Almighty God, subhanahu wa ta'ala, highly praised be He.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No doubt about that.
No. Well, it's 7:56. I have another engagement that I must get involved with, and I'll leave the air now, and I invite everyone to tune back in tomorrow morning for critical issues, hosted by Brother Henry Hasid and a special recurring guest, Mark Shaheed, and that's for an hour. It airs from 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And following that broadcast, the broadcast of Money Sense, hosted by our beloved Imam Adam Bayar, whereby he is educating us on financial literacy. Thank God for that wonderful broadcast. And following that, our brother Yusuf Ramadan in A New Day for El Islam, and addressing current events from the human perspective. And El Islam is the human perspective. These are three wonderful broadcasts that we have every Monday morning. So we look forward to your presence. Yes, tomorrow, inshallah. Yes.
Thursday, brother. Thursday.
Yes, ma'am.
You said Monday, Thursday.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's right. Yes, Thursday. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Mira. Praise be to Allah. So inshallah, we'll end this broadcast, inshallah, and let us end with a dua. The Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Ameen.
My question. I was coming to ask you if they were getting ready to close out. That's what I heard was the
You want to end the program?
I apologize, y'all. Had to take care of some business. Let's see here. All right, so we're going to end for tonight. Look forward to our being together tomorrow morning with critical issues and solutions, or solutions to our critical issues by Imam Henry Hasib and his recurring guest, Mark Shahid. That's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central, and 4 a.m. Pacific Coast Time, followed by Imam Adam Biyah, Money Sense, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., and 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And following that, that's Pacific Coast Time, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And following that, at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, is Imam Yusuf Ramadan with Al Islam, A New Day for Al Islam on American Muslim 360. Imam Yusuf Ramadan, again, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central, and 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Coast Time. Following that, we join A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio with William Kareem, and that's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That will be Imam Ibn Yaqub Islam with his Thursday presentation. He starts out by playing a lecture of Imam Warthi Muhammad, rahimahullah, and then into discussions. I believe his wife, Khalilah Ziyad Islam, she often shares a beautiful reading on history from Imam Warthi Muhammad's book, I think on the Ramadan sessions, from the Ramadan sessions. Hey, they've picked up from what Imam Kareem Hamid and Michael Hameen do on Sundays here on American Muslim 360. But then following that, a new presentation by Rashida Robinson will be on A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio, and that's from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, if you want to connect, that's as a sister station for American Muslim 360. The number is 971 379 9162. Again, 971 379 9162. Then we delightfully come back here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for The Intimate Strength with Edward Willis out of Texas, Dallas, Texas. You don't want to miss that. That's right here on the #1 Islamic radio station in the nation, where your intellect is respected and your voice protected. He's from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central, and 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Coast Time. Immediately following him is 8 to almost 10 o'clock is Michael Hameen. And that is Not Just Talk. And you don't want to miss that. Not Just Talk. Come on in again on the #1 Islamic radio station in the nation, where your intellect is